Greetings and beyond the new, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jeremy Wormy, and I'm back with yet another video. And for those of you who've been living under the rock for the past 20 some hours or so, Jimmy Kimmel has been removed from ABC and pulled off following quotes that he made on Monday in his opening monologue. And when we come over here to just play what it is that he said, well, you see what actually pulls him off.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing.
And that's the key thing, what he said right there. We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang trying to say that the person that assassinated Charlie Kirk was anything other than somebody who was like them, and trying to imply that the assassin was a Trump supporter and was MAGA, which is factually untrue, easily debunkable. Hell, this is going on ABC, and even ABC has specifically stated that the shooter was a leftist activist and was going out there to silence Charlie Kirk because, to quote his DMs, he thought Charlie Kirk spewed hate. That was easily searchable for somebody like Jimmy Kimmel, but they didn't care. Jimmy Kimmel didn't care. And following all this and the backlash, Jimmy Kimmel was pulled off of ABC. His show was put on indefinite hiatus, and Jimmy Kimmel was put on indefinite suspension for his statements there. And a lot of people wanted to come out here and say that it was because of the FCC, because the FCC chairman went on Benny Johnson's show and made some comments saying that they're going to be going after Jimmy Kimmel, which is okay, not a good idea. But let's be really clear here. That doesn't happen within 24 hours. Bureaucracy doesn't move like that. But what actually took down Jimmy Kimmel were local news casters, local affiliates, people that had money within the actual ABC brand came out here and said that they had issues with what Jimmy Kimmel said and that they were taking action. You had affiliates like Nexstar and Sinclair both come out here, condemn Jimmy Kimmel, and openly said that instead of running Jimmy Kimmel's show, that they would be putting up a service and a remembrance for Charlie Kirk. And when it came to Sinclair, Sinclair asked for Jimmy Kimmel to, one, apologize, and two, issue a donation to Turning Point and the Charlie Kirk family. Now, the donation part, well, I don't really even care really much about there, but the apology was the most important aspect of this. Following all this reporting, though, we ended up getting some rumors about some of the behind the scenes going on with Jimmy Kimmel and Disney. And we have this from Culture Craven. This is just a general idea of what we were being told. Jimmy Kimmel reportedly made it clear he won't apologize for his remarks on Charlie Kirk's shooter, which is one of the key aspects as to why his show wasn't going on until we continue moving forward with this video, was planning to clarify and focus on Trump's most loyal supporters, which we'll come back to that point out how the one of them quote is being taken out of context. I don't really see how it could be taken out of context. Bob Iger and ABC boss Dan Wildman made the decision to suspend the show. Well, we'll also dig into that. Discussion was reportedly businesslike and polite on both sides. Company hopes the show will be back on air soon, and this is all via Deadline. Well, following this, we've actually seen maybe it wasn't quite that, because we could come over here to Daily Mail. Jimmy Kimmel goes nuclear over ABC canceling him for outrageous Charlie Kirk comments. As insiders reveal, he already has new job plans. He was livid with the fact that people were coming over to him and saying they were upset with what he was saying. He was furious. It was not a cordial back and forth. He was going ballistic. And we can come over here. When he says, hey, I was planning on clarifying and focus on Trump's most loyal supporters and point out how the one of them quote is being taken out of context, don't really think it was gonna be like that, because we can come over here to Mediaite, where they openly say Kimmel was reportedly about to give controversial monologue when he was suspended. He has to take down the temperature. This is more reporting about that cordial conversation that was going on between both Bob Iger and Jimmy Kimmel, in which we can scroll right on down here and we can see some of the things that was being said. The Wednesday monologue was described by CNN sources as very hot and would have reportedly targeted President Donald Trump's MAGA base. If Jimmy went on the air, there would have been no way back from the monologue for Jimmy, the source said. We didn't want that. Everyone deeply values him and wants him to come back, but he has to take down the temperature. He was planning on escalating the rhetoric, increasing what he said, making everything much worse than it already was for one ABC and the brand Disney as a whole. So yes, they took action to take him down. It wasn't just the affiliates. This was Disney making a specific decision, because before we go further into this, guys, I want to tell you a little secret here. I want to tell you a little thing here. The people that were really furious with Jimmy Kimmel outside of the public and outside of, people watching and Trump supporters and people that like Charlie Kirk and value the truth, outside of, Sinclair or Nexstar, you want to know who was really, really furious? Well, we'll come over here to the Wall Street Journal, and I had to take a screenshot of this because I'm not subscribing to the Wall Street Journal, but inside Disney's abrupt decision to suspend Jimmy Kimmel's show. The late-night host wanted to address the firestorm over his remarks about Charlie Kirk's killing on Wednesday's show. Company leaders worried it would make matters worse. And you want to know why they were worried? And I'm showing you right here, okay, this little bit, because I want to come over here to show you that this is a screenshot from the article itself. Kimmel, during his Monday show, had criticized how President Trump and some of other Republicans were responding to the fatal shooting. Carr suggested during the podcast appearance 2 days later that the FCC could take action against the broadcast license of ABC-owned station, which is a ridiculous assertion, but again, that wasn't what actually took down Jimmy Kimmel. What it was the next paragraph. Advertisers and affiliates. Oh wait, advertisers and affiliates? You mean the people that hold the pocketbook, the people that have the money. The actual money is what took down Jimmy Kimmel. Soon called the network, expressing concern about Kimmel's show. Advertisers were furious about Jimmy Kimmel. Advertisers were furious about what was going on there. Nexstar and Sinclair were not the only ones that wanted to take down Jimmy Kimmel in this situation. This was big money right here. The actual people that hold the purse strings, not Jimmy Kimmel. None of those individuals. And when you also take into account the other thing, when we come back over here to Mediaite, we can see there might be a little bit more to this, because if we already know that the big money is furious with Jimmy Kimmel, if we already know this, and we start hearing that, hey, he wants to escalate this further and start making this whole lot worse, what do you think Bob Iger's thoughts were going to be there? What do you think was going to be the decision there in this meeting? They were going to stop him from ruining everything worse, because we come right on down over here to this part. The decision to suspend Kimmel's show was reportedly made by Disney CEO Bob Iger and Disney Entertainment co-chair Dana Walden in hopes of protecting Kimmel and the Disney brand from accelerating the controversy. They were trying to stop the damage that was already done. They were trying to stop the bleeding and have everything calm down. Jimmy Kimmel wasn't willing to calm down. Jimmy Kimmel was trying to escalate it and make everything so much worse. So now you start putting everything into a whole lot more context. We go over to the whole idea that Jimmy Kimmel was going nuclear. We go over to the fact of the matter that broadcasters and advertisers were furious with Jimmy Kimmel. This is not a case of cancel culture going on. This is a case of business being made and a literal crying millionaire that has viewership lower than anybody else in the key demo and in general. Jimmy Kimmel's ratings were plummeting before ABC suspended him for Charlie Kirk comments. This was a strictly business decision going on here. This was a move to get Jimmy Kimmel gone. His contract was already about to be going up anyways. He's not bringing in money. Nobody's watching him. His viewership is the lowest out of all late night television. This was strictly money-based. No politics were involved, no First Amendment violations. This was all money-based, and this was all done because Jimmy Kimmel, a literal millionaire, decided that he wanted to cry and lie and potentially cause more violence by making up bullcrap about the Charlie Kirk assassin. And mind you, he did come out and make a statement. Granted, it's not a good statement. Instead of the angry finger pointing, can we just for one day agree that it is horrible and monstrous to shoot another human? On behalf of my family, we send love to the Kirks and to all the children, parents, and innocents who have fallen victim to senseless gun violence. He won't take accountability, he won't show any respect, and he's willing to double down, triple down, and make everything worse. Jimmy Kimmel is a vile, vile man, and all that we're seeing right now is a bunch of rich, entitled pricks trying to act like that this is the end of democracy and the First Amendment, and this is a violation of all of our constitutional rights, when in reality, the violation of our constitutional rights was when Charlie Kirk got shot in the neck. But I'm gonna leave it there, guys. Let me see what you guys have to think about this all down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it out, friends, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live, guys, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye for now.